For most families, the sweet spot in boat size is 26 feet. At that size, the boat is seaworthy enough to take offshore, yet small enough to be easily handled and affordable. The Beneteau Flyer 8 fits the bill because she is 26 foot 10 inches long, or just over 8 meters. She comes in two distinctly different deck plans, each of which is designed to fit different primary missions of her owners. The Flyer 8 Spacedeck is a center console open boat with lots of deck space to launch water sports, serve as a fishing platform, or to be an entertaining venue with fore and aft tables and surround seating, as well as having an available sunning platform forward. The Flyer 8 Sundeck, as her name implies, is specifically designed for lots of sunning, but she is also a comfortable cruiser with entertaining capabilities both on deck and in her cuddy cabin. Both boats have enclosed heads. Now, the best way to save money when buying a boat, any boat no matter how large or small, is to buy the right boat the first time. If you make a mistake, then you'll likely buy a second boat that more closely fills your family's and your own expectations. In the process, you'll pay 2 sales commissions instead of just 1, and that can be costly. That's the genius of Beneteau's Spacedeck and Sundeck concept. By offering 2 distinct deck plans, Beneteau helps consumers zero in on the basic configuration that more closely encompasses the functionality that is wanted. Secondarily, the 2 models are enough alike to fulfill the basic requirements of most buyers. In terms of an automobile, for example, it's the difference between a sedan and an SUV. You can basically do almost everything with either one, but each has its own specialty, making it more functional for certain purposes. First, let's take a look at the Flyer 8 Spacedeck. She's a center console, a type of boat that was originally designed for fishing so that an angler could work a fish 360 degrees around a boat. Aft, there's a live well and storage compartments can be used as fish boxes. She can also be used to launch water sports such as wakeboarding by adding the optional tow pylon to the stern. Port and starboard of the outboard engine, she has 2 of the most extended boarding platforms we've ever seen in a 26-footer to launch water sports. Her 4-step ladder reaches over 22 inches below the surface to make boarding easier. Beneteau knows that almost everyone likes to bring friends and family out on their boat for entertaining, and that's why even on a boat intended for fishing and water sports, there must be places for having lunch, cocktails, or just great sightseeing. Forward, a table can be placed between the port and starboard bench seats to seat 6 people, or it can be put aft and be surrounded on 3 sides to handle 6 guests. One of the most thoughtful features of both Spacedeck and the Sundeck are the bench seats that fold out from the port and starboard gunnels, and on the Spacedeck there's a long bench seat that folds out from the transom. Below on the Spacedeck is a head and a place for a fridge and an area that can be fitted for a crib for a small child. This is another brilliant advantage because both of these boats appeal to young married couples who shouldn't have to wait to go boating. We know people that started taking their children aboard as young as 3 months old, starting them out right for a lifetime of boating. Now let's take a look at the Flyer 8 Sundeck and its functionality. The biggest difference is that she has a cuddy and foredeck. That makes her capable of cruising offshore or out to the islands and ideal for sunbathing. She has an asymmetrical deck planned forward, permitting a passage forward to the large sun pad, as well as the anchor or pulpit for bow-in offloading. Below, she has a wraparound banquet with a table for cozy evening cocktails when there's a chill in the air. The table can be dropped down for an afternoon nap. It's also a good place for children to play when they get tired of being with mom and dad. There's an enclosed head, which the whole family will appreciate. The cockpit of the Sundeck has 360-degree seating around a table. With the transom seat, the port and starboard fold-out seats, the swiveling helm and companion seat, 8 people can comfortably sit here for alfresco dining or cocktails. Note that the bench seat folds down, creating a second large sun pad. Just a word about the hull, which is the same on both models. She has a V-bottom and a very sharp entry. Both of these aspects will make her more comfortable when motoring through chop. She has a lot of bow flare, which permits the foredeck to be broad and there is no pointy end. That makes the bow a much more functional deck space for getting aboard when bow to mooring, or when handling the anchor. The biggest difference between the 2 models, of course, is the open bow versus the cuddy. Buyers must decide which is more important to them and their family, and we advise to invite the whole family to be part of the buying decision. The second big difference is the Spacedeck's aft cockpit, which has a large live well and bait prep station in the transom console, as well as tackle and other storage under the helm and companion seats. Both models are rated for single outboard up to 350 horsepower. Single engines make the cost lower to buy, lower to operate, and less costly to maintain. Think carefully about which engine, the 300 or 350, that you'll need. Your Beneteau dealer will help you with that decision. At about 6,100 pounds, with outboard and full fuel, the boat can be trailered by any number of vehicles including large SUVs. Again, your dealer will be your best consultant. We hope these observations have been helpful, and remember, no matter which you choose, life is better on a boat.